All right. Okay, so good to see you again. This is story from Bitcoin Geekend. It is 28th November. Thanks for comments. Thank you. Right. A couple of days ago, I did a little live broadcasting talking about Bitcoin is coming back up again, or this is a level of the bottom, or I would say I bought Bitcoin at 3,700. That's what I did on a live broadcasting the other day. And I today I just want to talk about a little bit about when the Bitcoin maybe start to resuming coming back up again. And again, this is a totally my perspective, and it could be wrong. And nobody knows where the price is going, and nobody can forecast for the futures. This is just purely my perspective, and please do your own due diligence when you actually trade. And that's my disclaimer. All right. So okay, so let's just start a little bit from the Bitcoin pricing. All right. What I want to talk about a little bit today is a probably as of today, not always, as of today, probably if you guys trading a Bitcoin or do a little bit analysis of how the cryptocurrency moves, you might want to look at actually a crude oil. It just sounds like stupid. It just sounds like a little bit weird. But actually, it gives a pretty good insight how Bitcoin may behave as of now. Not always again, but as of now, maybe the WTI crude oil may be a good point to take a look at that. So I just want to share the screen of mine. Is it coming in? Hang on a minute. Okay, it's coming in. All right, so let me just pull up my my chart. Okay, hang on. Yeah, this is good. All right. But no, hang on a minute. Let me just put up a. Let me do a. Okay, let me just put up a Bitcoin chart first. Right, real quick. Okay. All right. So here it is. Oh, maybe this is better. Okay. Sorry for that. Right. Can you see the chart? I hope you can see the chart. All right. Okay. As everyone knows, crude oil was showing a very sharp drop recently. It started from $76 to, as of now, just hitting $50, barely, just a little hair to hitting the $50. And it just sounds like a weird, but it actually sometimes correlates sometimes. And the basic assumption is, basic idea is when we are doing all the trading, okay, when we do trading whatever the commodity is, it could be Bitcoin, it could be gold, or it could be WTI. What we are actually doing is exchanging between US dollar to your trading asset. That's basic idea. So when you trade, say for example, when you trade euro, that's a euro to USD exchange, right? And when you trade a gold, what you are doing is exchanging between gold, or what you can say like exchange rate between gold and US dollar. It's not a price of gold. It's rather exchange rate between gold and dollar. That gives a sort of kind of new perspective to think about it. So if you think about a U.S. oil or like a crude oil, this is the chart for showing for the spot pricing of the WTI. It's not showing a a composite or like a calendar spread or anything. It's just showing a spot trading price of the U.S. oil. What we are doing right here in crude oil is this is we are looking at exchange rate between the WTI price, the spot price, and the US dollar exchange rate. So that's what we are looking at it. So, basically, it's just a kind of spotting where the US dollar goes too strong or other asset goes strong. So if you look at like recent, if we just go to a very recent, hang on a minute. If we go to a little bit lower time frame, maybe 2 hours, it's pretty interesting. The Bitcoin started to what we call a collapsing. Everybody was thinking that, including me, everybody was thinking that, well, maybe 5,800 is sort of the kind of the support of the Bitcoin, because that was the lowest level since this year started, like 2018 started. And actually, it broke. And however, if we look back a little bit of the crude oil price, it's pretty interesting. The thing is, hang on, where's the line? Oh, it came back up again. All right. So everybody was thinking that crude oil maybe $65 was a support, or $60 is support, or whatever it may be. So if you look at this area, that was pretty interesting. This is okay. So this was a $60 range of the crude oil, and it just broke to 55. And after that, what happened was actually Bitcoin started to sharp drop and broke the floor of 5,800 and dropped down to the next support level, which is a 5,300. Well, by the way, as I was looking at all the price of Bitcoin right now, they are moving within an increment of $600. So if they hit like $5,300, they go sideways and sideways. And this time was a little bit different. This time was Bitcoin actually broke the floor of 5,300. Well, very not such a strong floor, but they broke a 5,300. And then they broke 4,700. After that, what happened was finally this crude oil broke the $55 range. And they just came back up to $55 level. So probably a lot of people already knows the word, what we call a role reversal. That is sort of the word explaining that when this support level was broken, usually that support level flips to resistance level. That means like everybody was thinking that $50 of the range of the oil was sort of support, so they were buying. However, if the 54.50 other stop loss just comes into fire, and then people usually flip the positioning. Or like if they are missing a stop loss, they place a sell order at the original level 55. So that's why support level turns into resistance level. Anyway, so this 55 level became a resistance area and came down to $50. And after that, actually Bitcoin collapsed, broke the floor of 4,100, came back down to 3,500. And now they are moving within a range between 3,500 and 4,100. Can you see that? Yep. So, that's and WTI oil is a little bit inching up, coming back up to 55. We have no idea how the price may behave. However, so probably as of today, right now, maybe I think it's a good idea to take a look at the crude oil market. And I'm just going to show you my crude oil trading chart real quick. Hang on, it's maybe here. Yep. All right. So this is the crude oil. All right. So so I'm sorry, I cannot show the whole sort of formulas right here, but this is the ones that I sometimes use, right? So this is the WTI oil price, and this is a sort of a leading indicator of the WTI price. So you can see that actually before the WTI price was hitting the $75-$76, this leading indicator was already dropping. And after that, this price just flowed. And as of now, what we are looking at is pretty interesting. We just hit 55 level, and actually a lot of professional trader is taking a profit, and still it's coming down, but this leading indicator is not catching up. It's already hitting the bottom. Can you see that? It's already coming back up again. So we never know, but it just shows a little bit of the possibility that WTI oil may be coming back up to 55, 56, 57 level for a while. They still have got a downward risk, of course, but they might be coming up to 65, 55. So what you can do is maybe you don't really have to trade right now. But if you just taking a look at the WTI oil, and this oil could successfully break 55 level, and the Bitcoin is still hanging around within a, I don't know, maybe 4,100 level or before that, maybe Bitcoin maybe follow after that. Or vice versa, if Bitcoin follow up this 4,100 and coming to 4,700 level, if the WTI oil is hovering around somewhere else, maybe this WTI oil coming back up to 59 level, simply because they already showing this WTI oil's leading indicator. It's showing the price maybe coming back up again. So I think it may be a good idea right now to take a look at the WTI oil as an indicator. That's one of the idea. All right. So and probably well, you can clearly see the Bitcoin's possible reversal right now, and I'm just gonna show you some of my another stats. All right. Okay, so this may be good. Okay. Is visible now? Let me just check. Okay, it's coming up. All right. So within my previous video, I was saying that trading volume is catching up. However, the price is dropping. And so there are two possible outcomes. What really happens right now is you can see this area, right? You can clearly, can you see this area? This orange line represents the total market cap of major cryptos, including Bitcoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash, as of now, ABC. And this blue line, sorry, that's this blue line showing a market caps, the sum of three market caps. And this orange line represents a total of trading volume within this Bitcoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash, three of those. So you can clearly see the volume is inching up and the price is dropping. And if there are two possible outcomes from this point, one is, the pretty simple way is if price goes really dipping down, in spite of my positive views, who knows? What's going to happen is if the price keeps dropping down, probably trading volume will shrink, and ditching down to the lowest level. If the price, that's if you compare the market cap, that's right now it's pretty much same level comparing to probably 2017 middle of September, or probably what's that? That's August 4th of 2017, and at that time, the market cap of trees was something like 2,300. So that's, this, if the volume shrinks down to say maybe third or half, if it seems like that. It's if the trading volume is going to shrink to less than half, or maybe 25 to 30% around, I think it's going to catch up to the price. So if we see the trading volume shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, and it comes down to maybe a third of the current trading volume, it may be the end of the current cryptocurrencies, and it may be just, the price keep ditching down and maybe going to 2,800, maybe going to 1,000, and who knows. The other thing is price may be coming back up to the trading volumes level. And if that case, this trading volume level is somewhere closer to last year, I would say probably end of November or somewhere around. So that's that the price is a little bit higher than now. It's I would say much higher than now. It's probably $7,000, $6,000 level is somewhere comfortable level. So it could be coming back up to that level, and that's what I'm hoping to. And today, the other thing is probably a lot of people have already heard about a COT report that I represented the other day. And today, we have a up-to-date COT report, and that's just show hang on, that's all right. Okay. So this is the most recent COT report. I'm just creating the very handmade signals. But anyway, right. Market caps plus, thank you for posting me the comment. Is this graph available somewhere, market cap versus volume? It's not available, but you can clearly can create the graph pretty easily if you go to coin market caps. And if you go to like a Bitcoin, there is a tab called historical price. And if you go to historical price, you can copy and paste all the data to Excel spreadsheet. And I simply added like the same, market caps across Bitcoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash, and make it to another spreadsheet to show the total volume and total market caps. That's pretty simple. And then created the graph. That's the way I did. So you can do it freely, and you can do it for free. It doesn't cost anything. All right. Anyway, all right. So let's go back to the COT reports. That's okay. So if you look at, that was the heaviest drop, like November 6th. That was, top 4 players were selling like crazy. They sort of factored in Bitcoin Cash, a sort of hash flow is coming in, and maybe the smart investor remembers. By the way, one of my friend, he's a professional dealer, and he's doing all the time like commodities, crude oil and gold and whatever. What he says is one of the advice he says is in order to be a good trader, one of the key factor is the memory. Memory means what happened last year, the same time and same event, and what really caused sort of the event, or sort of the price and sort of the timing. If you remember all the 3 elements, you may you may be having a little advantage to other people. So if you look back last year, 2017, pretty much the same thing happened, right? That's middle of November, I believe that was 12th of November, 2017. Bitcoin Cash hard fork was coming up. And so everybody was, at the time, like all big hash rate was taken out from Bitcoin to mine Bitcoin Cash because that was more profitable at that time, because Bitcoin Cash didn't have a sort of a regular adjustment of the difficulty. So they had an emergency difficulty adjustment. So if adjustment, Bitcoin Cash difficulty goes lower, anybody can make a lot of money for mining that Bitcoin Cash at that time. So, that brought in a shift or the hash rate to Bitcoin Cash. Then Bitcoin's price dropped because the shortage of, the mining hash rate dropped. So anyway, I believe lots of people was expecting that really happened this year too, November 6th, because already there was, lots of conflict between two parties, like SVs and ABCs was, doing a lot of debate at the time. So clearly people were having a, pulling out the money, and however, they actually made a lot of shorts, and they, at the same time, position of the long increased. However, the short position was increasing much higher. So lots of professional trader factored in that, I believe. Right. Anyway, so the worst day is over right now. That's in my perspective, not my perspective, as of this COT report shows. November 6th, a lot of major traders, major big players were selling like crazy, but now they are stabilizing. They are coming back up to the regular level. And if we include and we have two major future market. One is CME and the other one is a CBOE. And if we add up both of positions, they're actually coming back up to the lowest level of net shorts recently. So I think it's, the people is finishing their positions for the shorting, and they are maybe, I don't know, coming back up to doing something new. And so anyway, this is the sort of the fundamental around. Trading volume is inching up, and all the big players is closing their shorting positions, and they're actually the open interest is inching up very high. So that's the basic assumptions and basic fundamentals. And what we're looking at here is and this is the date that probably you need to look at it. This is the November 30. So what's going to really happen in November 30 is it's pretty simple. It's last trading day of CME, like Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So if we look back a history, that's pretty interesting. Let's just take a fun tour, right? So I draw the line of orange line vertically here. That's basically the last trading day of Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And when the market goes sideways, it doesn't really give a lot of change to the market. Like this area, you can see that it just goes straight and just goes straight. However, if the market is volatile, it's just like that the Bitcoin's pricing was coming down and down and down and down. And I still remember this June 28th. What happened was, after the CME's closing of the last trading, the news came out, and the news was this year probably Bitcoin ETF is being approved by SEC type of the rumor came out. And at the time, still the market was sort of hot. Everybody was thinking where to come into the Bitcoin again, and where the money goes to. Everybody was looking at it. So everybody was sort of looking for the news regarding to an ETF approval. ETF is an exchangeable trading fund, exchange tradable fund, probably. So anyway, if the ETF is getting approved, what's going to happen is, like a stock traders or like a lot of other fund managers can purchase a Bitcoin ETF pretty easily, and they do not have to store their sort of private keys or like stupid numerous words just behind their desk or something. They can store their Bitcoin within the custody of ETF, and that's gonna bring in a lot of money. That's people was looking for. And actually that news came right after the CME's closing time. I believe that was like 2 or 3 hours after the last trading time was ended. And however, that was saying like a sort of undisclaimed source, or it just could be just a rumor. They didn't there was no specific name for the news source, but the news came out. And after that, price skyrocketed to 8,400. That was crazy, wasn't it? Like it didn't, ETF didn't get approved. ETF was just a rumor, right? Just a rumor came out to the market. However, the market reacted to goes high and high and high. And what happened next? What happened next was another CME closing date came out, and I believe, I don't really remember the news came out, but actually COT report was showing this is the area that a lot of big buyer was actually selling. However, it just skyrocketed again to this level. And finally, after the CME closing date, the price started to drop and coming back up to the original level. And then they hit 5,900 and came back up again and coming down. And I believe that was, I think, yeah, that's basically what really happened. So if you look at the, price trending right now, this is exactly pretty much the same to what happened to this end of June. For me, it just looks like that, coming back down to the certain level and going over this CME's last trading day and coming back up again. And probably a lot of people already have seen the news of a what it was. Gigawatt. Probably that's Gigawatt went bankrupt. That's the Gigawatt was a company giving a hash rate to the customers and have them mine their own Bitcoins, and they went bankrupt with having their assets was $50,000 left and their liability was $50 million. And that was the news came out on, I believe that was November 22, I believe. Yeah, and that news went into the market and everybody was, oh, by the way, here's my little dog came out. Anyway, she's pretty good at predicting the market, so I will do she's gonna predict the market later. Anyway, right, so what we are talking about. Oh, 22nd. Gigawatts went bankrupt. That news came out on 22nd of November. And after that, market was really crashed down because everybody's looking at a hash rate. And the other news came out probably 23rd or 24th. Gigawatt news was their number was wrong, right? They actually had an asset of $50 million, $10 million to $50 million instead of $10,000 to $50,000. So their liabilities and their asset is pretty much balancing. That's the news came out after that. And I mean, they said they were rushed, so they made mistake. But I mean, are they rush? It's weird, isn't it? That's so. I mean, I don't say this is a sort of the manipulated news or something. It could be true. It could be. I don't know. I'm not an insider, so I really have no idea. But what you need to really look at it is, we have a CME trading closing date, last trading date on November 30. So if you are looking at the news, and if the after the CME trading last trading day is over, and then some sort of a news comes out, if the news is something like hey, new companies coming into mining facilities, or a new chip is coming available and hash rate goes up or something, that news may be something you guys need to look at it. And if that news comes into prevail, or the previous fears may be gone, and people hash rate may be coming back up again, and the price may goes up, or nothing comes out. Who knows? If the nothing comes out, probably Bitcoin's price maybe goes sideways and may dips down again. Who knows? However, if the Bitcoin price goes lower than 3,500, I would say trading volume needs to shrink less than half, or at least half, maybe 30%. I mean, that's 30% means like they need to be lower by 70% comparing now. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So probably what you want to do is maybe just looking after the news after the November 30th, or taking a look at a trading volume. You can just go to that's a coin market cap and just grab the numbers. It's pretty easy. You don't really have to sum up all the numbers. You just take a look at a Bitcoin's trading volume. That gives a lot of indication, and it's if just taking and so this is the coin market cap, and they just go to Bitcoin, and here is a historical data, and here it is. Here is all the volume is coming out, right? That's you just need to check that volume, and if the trading volume shrinks down to the number goes less than 3 or 4, that may be the days that we need to worry a lot, because trading volume was really slowed somewhere around October 20, October 30. At that time, the trading volume was, that's 3, 3 was the biggest number. And then we are hitting the 5 or 6. So it's pretty much a double of the trading volume. However, if the trading volume comes back below 3 or maybe 2, that's the day, that's all my positive perspective may needs to go, and we maybe see the Bitcoin maybe just dipping down further and may hitting the 2,800. Who knows? We never know. But I mean, that's basically the thing that we need to look at it, right? And maybe WTI crude oil. That's right now, that's the hottest market right now. So I think that's one of the things we just need to take a look at it. And I think that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah. So I mean, that's as long as the trading volume is stable or like increasing to the within the Bitcoin market, I would say it's gonna be price maybe coming back pretty soon, or the other way around. If the if the price keeps hovering around the $4,000 area and the trading volume shrinks maybe half, then we need to worry about it. That's my perspective. That's my perspective of how Bitcoin may behave. So the positive scenario is just like this, right? That's just like end of July, end of June. The long period of downtrends, and another news came out, skyrocketed. Long downtrend, CME last trading dates, and if the news comes out regarding to some sort of a new something regarding hash rate, something positive to the hash rate, maybe comes back up again. Who knows? But that's probably what we need to look at it. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Yes, that's so right now, maybe if you are like a short-term traders or like scalpers or whatever it may be, I would say this is a good range to trade, like maybe 3,500 to 4,100, and we can do is well, this could be a little bit breakout maybe comes in, so maybe I wouldn't recommend to go short, but maybe if you are a little bit bullish, maybe let's try to place a limit order around here and maybe just taking a long positions, or if this goes up again, maybe just wait, pull back to the 4,100 and goes long again. Or I think that's pretty much you need to do. This is a Coinbase price, so if you, well, it's of course all the exchange offering to the different prices, so it's not the same, but I think that's pretty much what you need to do it right now. And that's pretty much it. All right. Okay, so I'm just gonna looking at a comment. What time is it now in the EST? That's hang on. That's right now. This is 5 p.m. in JPY. And EST 2:56 a.m. in the morning. And London is 8 a.m. in the morning. This is very early in the morning. All right, so I think everybody's sleeping right now. And yeah. Anyway, this is a pretty interesting market right now. That's and when this is if this price really penetrate 4,100, what we can see is going to be forming a double bottom. So when people talk about double bottom, what the price really, what they need to do is price needs to penetrate this area, just showing coming up higher than this. Then we can see this is the double bottom. If it's not a double bottom yet, it's just a sideway, it's just a range. And if this range goes to the next level, we may be able to say, hey, here is a double bottom came in, and Bitcoin price may goes up. We just need to see, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it, and I think I have covered a pretty simple thing, right? So it's not so complicated thing that, oh, by the way, the other thing is maybe you might want to check some sort of a funding rate if anybody is using like a BitMEX or like a Bitfinex. These guys show all the stats, like the funding rate means like what sort of interest rates that leverage player is paying for the funding cost to borrow BTC to go short. And well, this 2, 3, 4 days, Bitcoin's lending rate spiked a lot. That means a lot of leverage player is borrowing BTCs with a very high cost, say 25 to 30% annual rate, or could be 40%. It doesn't last long. I mean, that's people needs to pay, borrower needs to pay, interest funding rate, and they needs, and of course they are facing the risk of, short squeeze. So it's, right now, the shorters is having a little, tighter room. They have a little tight room. So maybe, and if we look at a trading range, what comes? Again, that's, I'm just gonna grab a, all right, so this is the visible range of the price, and probably, yes, probably that of shorting people made a position somewhere around 3,700, and this is the short squeeze. So probably many of the positions have been cleared. However, they still have their positions, and probably if this goes like maybe 8%, that's usually the case. Yeah, of course, yeah, 8%. So this is the level that all the majority of the stop loss is coming in. Probably 10%. If this goes to 10%, yeah, more and more like a stop loss may be coming in. So it could be different. Like probably 4100, maybe price comes back down to 3500 level again. Who knows? But it's probably this is the range that you need to look at it: 4100 to 3500. After that, it's another 600, 4100 to 4700, and it's going in that way. That's pretty much the short-term traders range, and you may be able to use that range, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And right, so what I want to do, hang on a minute, it's where is my yep, it's coming up again. All right. So what I want to achieve through this video is, yeah, I just want to throw out some of my trading strategy to the people. And when the this Bitcoin Geekend channel goes to more than 20,000 subscribers, I'm gonna create a very fast trading courses regarding the Bitcoins. And I just want to include some of the stuff like that, like fundamentals, how to analyze the positions, how to analyze the volume, and how to analyze sometimes people's text, what people are talking within the chat, or what other, that's maybe the relative market. Like as of now, it's just like a WTI crude oil. And so, I mean, if you can just follow the channel of the YouTube, that's great. And the other thing is, if you like this video, if you just can tweet or forward to your friend, and just if you just can give a little word to other people, hey, this may be a good, interesting, just an insight. It could be wrong, it could be correct, who knows. However, it's sort of interesting insight is coming into the Bitcoin market. So if you just can give a little word to it, that's I'm very glad about it. Right. Yes, and I'm gonna when I create a courses, I will give a huge discount to the early followers, and big discount. And I just gonna put a content based on my content in it. And there are lots of ways to do the trading strategies, etc. There is a lot of signals that I do have, or like a lot of ideas to trade. Anyway, that's basically what I want to do. And so if you just can, until then, I'm just gonna keep showing this YouTube videos. And after I launch a course, I still do this sort of YouTube stuff. But if you just can spread the word, that's gonna be great. Thank you. And I hope we can see everybody's again pretty soon. And hope you have great days. Yes, and this was November 28th, 2018. And this was from Bitcoin Geekend from Japan. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye. Bye-bye.